Ever feel like your ideas get overlooked because you don't have the right title? For high IQ neurodivergent executives, the key to career influence isn't climbing faster. It's showing up with the kind of presence and clarity that makes people pay attention, regardless of your title. Today, we're going to talk about how you can learn what executive presence actually means and how to build it without changing who you are. A proven framework to expand your influence across functions, leadership levels, and teams. How to lead with quiet power, clarity, and impact, whether you're in the C-suite or not. This isn't about performance or posturing. It's about showing up in your full power so your ideas land, your value is recognized, and your career momentum accelerates. Leadership isn't about a title. It's about how you show up, how you influence decisions, how you shape strategy, and how you move things forward. If you've ever been in a meeting where your ideas were solid but overlooked, or where someone with less expertise got more airtime, this training is for you. So let me know in the comments if you've ever felt like you were doing the job, but not getting the recognition or influence that comes with it. So let me tell you about Sarah. She's a neurodivergent exec, not yet in a formal leadership role, but she consistently delivered. Still in meetings, her ideas didn't gain traction. We worked together on what I call the quiet power move. Within months, her influence skyrocketed without a title change. And that is what I'm teaching you today. Have you ever felt overlooked in meetings or project decisions? Do you find it hard to get buy-in on your ideas? Do you feel like your neurodivergent thinking is misunderstood or undervalued? These aren't personal failures. They're systemic blind spots, but you don't have to wait for a title to fix them. You can lead now by learning how to wield presence and influence strategically. The first step is to cultivate executive presence. Speak with clarity. Pause, don't flood with detail. Show calm authority, especially under pressure. Sarah prepared 3 key messages per meeting. She delivered fewer words, but more impact. Step 2, align influence with org goals. Tie your ideas to what leaders care about: efficiency, growth, retention. Instead of pitching a new tool, Sarah pitched cost savings and alignment with strategic priorities. Step 3, increase strategic visibility. Join cross-functional meetings. Build informal trust across departments. Sarah started casually checking in with a peer in finance. Later, he became her biggest internal sponsor. So, as I'm saying these things today, I'm thinking about my own executive journey. And thinking about 3 really peak learning moments. One was at that point in the development of our tech startup. This is when we were in the 400 to 500 employee range. I was a VP, and about 80% of the company worked for me, reported into me. And oftentimes in the meetings with the top tier leadership and mid-tier leadership, which was what I was part of, decisions would be made, and those decisions had significant impact in my organization because, once again, 80% of the company reported to me. And it was often my job to push back or to say, okay, we can do this and this, but we can't do the other thing until we've completed one of the other 2. So that I was setting up my organization for success. And since my organization was the entire operations of the business, I was setting the business up for success. I was also the youngest executive in the company. And so sometimes my role conflicted with me getting taken seriously I was seen as a blocking event. And I was always in awe of my boss, who was the CTO, but was also the COO. And she would always be the last person to speak in the meeting. And she had everyone's attention. And I just kept soaking that up and saying, how do I get that? And to some extent, I kept beating myself up because I wasn't doing that. And the reality is that she was brought in to be a chief grown-up. My job was to make sure the operations could execute. And so I was doing my job. However, if I look back, the advice I would give young 30-something VP Wendy, it would be to say, look for times where you can be supportive of the creative ideas, collaborative of the creative ideas, and not be the practical, this is how we are going to have to do things in order to execute. And there could have been times where I could do more of that. The other thing I'm going to say is that I did do a very strategic thing, and I think I've told you all about it before. And that is that every Tuesday I would go to the farmer's market and I would buy myself a bouquet of flowers. I think they cost like $5 for my desk. I spent an awful lot of time at that desk. May as well have some flowers on it. I would also buy a second bouquet of flowers. And I would leave that bouquet of flowers on the desk of somebody who reported to one of my peers. So somebody who was a direct report to an executive or senior executive in the company who was doing something that was positively impacting the operations org in some way. And I didn't write thank you notes. I just left the flowers. And pretty quickly, everyone, and I would leave the flowers when the person wasn't at their desk. And people knew it was kind of like getting your award from Wendy, but it was like this Secret Santa thing because I dropped the flowers off. And when they got those flowers, they felt seen, they felt heard, they felt appreciated. And what that meant is I was building leadership cred across the organization. All of those people appreciated me. There are testimonials on my LinkedIn profile from those people, a whole bunch of them. You have to scroll way, way, way back to get to them. If you're really curious, go and do it. Did that help me with my peer level relationships? I'm not sure. But did it help me build credibility across the organization that made it possible for my organization to do what it needed to do to perform for the company and have that company be worth $100 million at its exit? Heck yeah. Now, back to our lesson today. Step 1 was cultivate executive presence. We just talked about that in my story. Align influence with goals and increase strategic visibility. All those stories I just told align with those 3 things. I want to know which of these 3 areas do you most want to strengthen? Presence, alignment, or visibility? Drop a 1, 2, or 3 in the comments, or if you'd rather just tell me instead of all of LinkedIn or all of Facebook, go ahead and send me a DM and let me know 1, 2, or 3. What do you most want to strengthen? I want to support you on that. And speaking of talking about you, where do you feel stuck when it comes to presence or influence? What's one idea you want more buy-in on, but don't know how to position? Where are you most visible or invisible? Let me know so I can talk with you about making that happen. Executive presence isn't about pretending to be someone else. It's about showing up fully, clearly, and strategically so your value is recognized. If you're ready to build that kind of presence without changing who you are, I'd love to talk with you. My executive long game coaching program helps high IQ neurodivergent leaders like you, like the young Wendy I was talking about, gain the visibility, influence, and career traction you deserve. drop a presence in the comments or DM me, and I'll send you the link to book a private clarity call with me. We'll talk through your goals, your challenges, and whether my coaching program is the right fit for you. And if you got value from this session, share it with a colleague or friend who's showing up strong but still feeling overlooked. Let's help each other rise.